My name's Ernie Soulliere, and I'm a brain injury survivor. I was starting my day on February 23rd. I left for work that day, and I was a truck driver, and I was going from Chatham to Alliston and back home. And I was on my way. I stopped in Alliston, unloaded my load, grabbed another trailer, and was coming home with some parts going to Ohio. I was on my way through Guelph and coming back home on the 401 when this, as I'm going by Ingersoll, this guy came out on the 401 with no lights at 12:15 a.m. And I looked in my mirror, and then I looked to the other side, and when I looked back, that guy was less than 2 feet away from me. No time to react. I figured if I went left, I'm going to be out in the other lane, and I'll be hitting somebody else. So I just stayed in that. I just didn't know what to do. I paused, and by that time, it was all crash. When that happened, they turned around, and a guy named Joseph came right away as soon as the accident happened. He's getting me to talk and keep myself conscious, because I kept on wanting to go out, to pass out, and I started vomiting and stuff, and he said, keep talking to me. So he says, where are you headed? I said, I'm going to Chatham. So he kept on talking to me till the firemen arrived there. Then when they came, within 5 minutes, they started using the jaws of life on me. It took them 3 hours to get me out of that cab. When they finally brought me to the hospital, they brought me to Ingersoll. The doctor, I says, what time is it? And he says, it's 5 o'clock. I said, 5 o'clock? Holy crap, my wife's going to kill me. I'm supposed to be home. You better call her. So he says, what's her number? So I gives him the number, and he said, it's all right, don't worry about it. So he says, I called your wife, and she knows. So when I got to Ingersoll Hospital, after the observation, he gives me a shot, and then I don't remember too much from that. But they told me that I was airlifted from Ingersoll Hospital to London Hospital. I had a bleeding spleen. They had to repair that. And my hip was broken away from my pelvis. And then we went from there, and then after that, I was in the hospital for 6 weeks in London, and had all kind of issues, which they found a head injury. I had 2 hip repairs from there, and then bleeding spleen. I had problems with both knees from the accident. Actually, my foot was stuck right in where the gas pedal was stuck in there when everything come crashing. So I had a broken jaw, bruised lungs, bleeding spleen. I had a whole list of things. A brain injury. It's really wild. I guess for the things are what you could do before. At first, you could do some of them things. Then after a while, as it seems to set into your body, then you find out, wow, there's more things you can't do. And or you think you can, and you get out there and you start working on something, whether it's vehicles or just doing carpentry work, then you find out it's not working. What's going on? So then the hardest thing is trying to figure out what's going on with yourself. When I can't even explain it to people, that's one of them hard parts where you can't even figure it out yourself. It took me a long time, because it took me over 8 years. And to be able, we started rehab actually about 3 years into it or more. And then when I started working with occupation therapists and speech pathologists. That's when it started, more things coming together and figuring out what's going on. I needed help in so many areas that I thought, it is wild. That's why most people can't understand. But the best thing is probably the most helpful as well with all the rehab, is going to the support group, because then, you know what? That made you understand more. For the fact is that, number one, you don't know, you think you're the only person that has this, the head injury. Then you find out when you go to the support group meetings, then look at this person could be going through the same things you are. And that helps you get through the things that you don't realize what's going on with yourself or whatever. So I chose to go there, and I was glad that I have, and I actually still go to this day. For the fact is that, you know what, if not myself, maybe I can help somebody else stop grieving, or to shed light on things that happen with them, that happen with myself or other members. So then you share your story and you find out, wow, that's the same thing I'm going through. Or, oh, I think I'll try that, because did it work for you? Yeah, so you know what? And it's to also give back to the Brain Association and just people from Windsor, Essex County. So, you know, that's an important thing. I'm doing this for to help all the members, and to help members that haven't even been touched. And I'm hoping that we can get some doctors and other people to make more accessible, so we can get help before it's too late or too long. And because the longer you go, the harder it is to retrieve anything. And that's the harder part.